Hi, welcome back to the Wilson Anchor News. This is your anchorman, Teddy Anders. Today we're here with my uncle, Uncle Chad, aka Centercourt Classic. How are you today, Uncle Chad?
Really good, Teddy. How are you doing?
Great. So, how did you start your career with the Centercourt Classic?
So, Centercourt Classic and Centercourt are actually, I am Centercourt. So, I started being Centercourt back in 2008. It started as just, I was going out to games watching. I was a substitute teacher right here at Wilson High School and knew some of the kids and players that were in the game. I'd actually coached them a little in football. So I went over to watch the Wilson at Newfane game. This is back in 2006. And I get to that game that night and the gym is packed. It's an excellent atmosphere, and Newfane actually had a really good team back then in 2006. So I got swept up in the action that night, and I went home and thought, why don't I do this more? It's these cold winter nights, I need to go to more high school basketball games. Now I'm reading the Niagara Gazette every day at the school and kind of keeping up on stuff. Niagara Falls has this guy, Johnny Flynn, everyone's talking about. And I'm like, I got to go see this Johnny Flynn. So then I go out and watch Johnny Flynn. What happened is the more that you start to watch, the more you're like, this is an amazing way to spend your time in the winter. And it just kind of spun off of all that. Couldn't keep myself out of gyms, couldn't stop talking about it with people. Eventually, the Buffalo News, which had this nice blog format where I was interactive on that, they changed their format. It was going to reduce the amount of conversation. I really wanted to keep a conversation going in high school basketball because I enjoyed it that much. I was becoming that passionate about it. I thought, I'm going to start my own venture. So I launched a little purchased some blog software and launched my own little website, that was enabled comments, and originally it was supposed to just be that. Then Keith McShay, who had been the guy at the Buffalo News, said, you really need to get on Twitter for what you're doing. Twitter would take your thing to a whole new level. And I was like, I don't want any social media. That's not I don't like that stuff. I still don't. But I did listen to him when I launched Twitter, and that took me to a kind of another level, and I was able to reach more people. And years down the road, the Centercourt Classic that you started with asking me about, my best friend was Gabe Michael. He was the head coach at Williamsville South. He said, you should have your own event. You know all these teams really well. You know all the coaches. You could organize a great event. We're doing it. We're going to do it here. And he kind of grabbed me by the hand and said, come on, let's start something. And we did. And like anything else, once you have a good experience with it, you're like, I want to keep this going. And so the Centercourt Classic, the actual 2-day event, has grown into something special now. And the View From Centercourt, or that brand, it's become a great platform just to keep the good story alive of all the teams in the area. And I'm somebody that stays pretty consistent with it and enjoys it.
And what is one team or game you look forward to every single year?
Well, so I really like going to Timon. I think Timon's such a unique place to catch a game, and it seems like they always have good games on Friday nights. So I really enjoy a good trip to South Buffalo. The Canisius-St. Joe's rivalry, that's like Wilson and Newfane to another level because they're bigger schools, and it's just so much passion behind those kind of games. So I would say those are a couple. I love the Buff State week. That's probably my favorite week of the year. I'm a really a small school basketball fan at heart, maybe because that's where I came from, maybe just because it plays out a little different. But I really like to find a couple good Southern Tier teams that are enjoyable to watch and get down there. Like this year it was Panama was outstanding. Westfield was a great team from the Southern Tier. Randolph, and when you got teams like that, Salamanca was the year before. Those are a lot of fun to go and cover as well.
And speaking of Panama, watching your broadcast the other night, you predicted them to be the champions, and they ended up being successful. So how do you think you just were able to predict that?
Years of going to the state championships. I've been going out and watching all the state championship games in all the different classes since 2012, I believe 2009 was the first year I went to state. So I haven't missed any state championships since then, except for the ones they cancel. So you see the teams that are out there at the state level. Panama was just such a uniquely good Class D team this year. I knew that they were winning our section. You're looking at Rochester and thinking, okay, Rochester's got a good team too. I think if we're a little better with them and we break through, now we're in a tournament with 4 teams. And based on what I see every year, when I get out to Glens Falls right now, the state championships are in Binghamton. I was saying it's going to take a pretty special team to stop this Panama team from winning a Class D championship. Sometimes you see a team that's got a shot. Panama, I was pretty sure that they had a real shot. And then when I get to the States and I watch, there's Panama's game. They make quick work of their team in the semifinal. Now the other semifinal is played, and it's the team that they ended up having to play in the state championship, Bridgehampton. Watch Bridgehampton. Knew how good they had been all year. I got to see them live, and after watching them live, I said, Panama's better. Panama's all seniors. They do what Bridgehampton does a little better. They're going to beat them. And then I kind of put a guarantee out there, which I rarely do because that's pressure on kids and whatnot. But no regrets now. They delivered for us. Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Made Section 6 very proud. It was a great story this year.
Yep. And, you coming from Wilson yourself, what do you think about the season?
Oh, I loved Wilson's season. We were just talking about that a little bit. They were busting on me because I picked Salamanca to beat them, then I picked Allegheny Limestone to beat them, and credit to Wilson, credit to the boys that play on that team, and they played out of their minds when they got to Buff State. It was so good to see, and I'm a good friend with the Salamanca coach. I'm friends with all these guys, right? And at the end of the day, I don't care who wins a game, but I will admit that being a Wilson guy and not expecting it to happen, and then seeing, I knew that I said it's going to be a well-attended game, two good communities. It was such a fun atmosphere. I mean, Wilson started so fast, so strong. Aiden Newman is a really talented player. I mean, I just put out my all-Centercourt team. He's a top 25 guy this year. He absolutely earned that for himself, and he is. He's a talented player, and he'll move right up on those ranks next year. Ryan Huff, tremendously athletic. You rarely see that, especially in a small school level. Seamus George, what he was able to do, especially in that first game against Salamanca, and that's just a moment that young man, he's never going to forget that in his life. I thought Colton Frericks played the best game I've ever seen him play right there on the floor at Buff State. Way to go out as a senior. Chase Martin comes off the bench, gives him some good contributions. Brock Lepshin's side, once he gets a hold of a rebound, nobody's getting it back. It was a lot of fun, this Wilson team, and they're only losing a couple kids, so they're going to be a lot of fun again next year. So I got a feeling you're going to see me around a little more.
All right, that's good. And just, are there any more future goals you have for this program?
The Centercourt stuff? I think I started doing a YouTube show every week this year, and I enjoyed that because it was a chance for me. It's me and a guy, Frank Wolf, who runs West New York Athletics, and it's a very casual, almost like a Colin Cowherd thing, where if he was J-Mac and I'm Colin, or vice versa, and we're sitting across from each other, and just like today, he gives me no preparation on what we're going to talk about. I just come in and he fires stuff at me. We talk, we start rolling. I enjoy doing that. I've always been a lot of updates on social media. I've started putting less stuff on my website, more YouTube show, more play-by-play. I think that's what I would like to see, is more, maybe a little more conversation and a little less words in print.
Yep. And what would be some of your advice, that someone like me would like pursuing a career in sports broadcasting? Like, what would be some advice you would have for them moving on?
I think that my advice would be anything that you're really passionate about, that you really care about. Like, if you're going to be upset to miss that game, if you're going to be upset if you don't get to do that, then you're on the right track of something. Passion's a big thing. You got to go with what you're passionate about. And then I think you have to have a unique style that is consistent and good, You don't want to try to be like everybody else, but you have to care about what you're doing, and you want it to be accurate, you want it to look good, present well. And you've got to be honest with the feedback you get and what's relevant and what's not. If something's not working or people don't like it, or you keep hearing that same feedback back, listen to it.
All right. And now we're going to start going into some absolutely random questions. So, what are your favorite flavors of ice cream?
All right. So, Cookies and Cream by Perry's is just an original slam dunk, for sure. They came out with a new flavor called Peanut Butter Cookie, which is sugar cookie ice cream, peanut butter swirls, peanut butter cookie dough balls. That is super next level good. But they only make it in pints. Perry's, if you're listening, we need that to come out in your pseudo half gallons, which are really just 48 ounces, not a true half gallon. They just released a new flavor, which is in my freezer right now, and I've been hitting it every night. Cherry pie ice cream. It tastes like cherry pie has morphed into ice cream. Perry's has got it going on. That's my favorite maker of ice cream.
And what are your top 3 favorite spots to go and get ice cream in Western New York?
Tops, Wegmans, and fill in another one. T&R's on my way home from Wilson. I like to eat my ice cream at the end of the night on a couch out of a bowl. But if I was going to have to go buy a cone somewhere, brownies all day long. What's your scoop up in Wright's Corners? You know, I'm not opposed to supporting an ice cream stand. It's just it's a lot of calories, a lot of heaviness in the middle of the day.
And who is your favorite all-time announcer?
I mean, in football, when Al Michaels and John Madden were together on Monday Night Football, I used to lie. I couldn't. It didn't matter what the score was. I could just sit there and listen to their words for 3 hours, 3.5 hours. And then basketball, Jim Nantz. I don't think there's ever been anybody that's more classy and more spot on in the way he does a game than Jim Nantz. So there's a couple of my faves.
And, you know, being a guy that's loved basketball and been around basketball, do you have any basketball puns or jokes you'd like to share?
Basketball puns or jokes. I think the one that I find myself saying every time I see it happen when I'm broadcasting a game, even though I know it, you know, some kid takes a 3-pointer and it goes in off the glass, right? He didn't mean to bank it. What kid means to bank a 3-pointer in? Bank is open in Amherst late on a Sunday night or a Thursday night, or, you know, that's stupid joke. That's old man dad pun jokes. I know.
And, you know, we'll go back to basketball, stick there for a second. What is your favorite college and NBA team?
Well, favorite college growing up, I was always a Syracuse guy. They haven't been so good lately, but that's okay. You know, you stay true to your team, but I can be a little fair weather with the college because the landscape changes. So it's more about just finding a team that's a lot of fun to watch, a style they play that I really enjoy. They've got a couple really good players that I really like watching the March Madness tournament. I've become a fan of this Auburn team, you know. Johnny Broom, he can play, right? So that's a team I've enjoyed watching this year. Tournament's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, you know, anybody who thinks it's a boring tournament with 4 number 1 seeds, I say, man, the committee got it right this year. Holy smokes. Cooper
Flag, just all these teams are going to be good.
Yes.
So, well, we'll see where that goes.
And in the NBA, Steph Curry and Jokic. I mean, I like guys who are just different. Jokic is the best player in the world right now, and Steph Curry, he changed basketball. Unbelievable.
Speaking about Curry, 56 points last night.
Get out of here.
12 3-pointers. Ridiculous game.
Oh, see, I put out all center court yesterday, and I was swept up on that. I never even turned it on last night. I blew it.
All right, and we have a little bit of a bracket here. These are just NBA players, and you're going to pick one, and eventually there's going to be one. He's going to be the top player.
I like it. Let's do it. Bracketology with Nephew Teddy.
First off, we're going to start off with LeBron and Michael Jordan. Who's better?
Jordan.
Okay.
Jordan. I mean, LeBron's had a great career, but Jordan was a killer for 6 straight years. More than that, but 6 titles in a row. Yeah. Would have been 8 if he wouldn't have left.
Yeah. Curry or Ray Allen?
Steph Curry.
Kyrie Irving or Allen Iverson?
I mean, I want to say AI, but I think Curry. I don't know. That's tough. I'll say AI. I'll go with what I want to say. I'm going Iverson.
Okay. And Kobe or D Wade?
Kobe. Okay. Gotta be Kobe.
Now, Michael Jordan or Steph Curry?
Oof, man. They had to be on the same side of the bracket, didn't they? They should be playing for a championship. Oh, man. We'll go Michael. He deserves it, you know. Sorry, Steph.
Or Allen Iverson or Kobe Bryant?
It's Kobe.
Okay.
It's Kobe.
And then your top two are Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Which one's moving on to be the best?
Well, you came out of the gate making me compare Jordan and LeBron. But, yeah, I mean, if Jordan was better than LeBron and Curry, he's got it.
Yep.
He's got it because, let's be honest, Kobe's whole game was modeled after Michael Jordan, and Kobe was pretty spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
But Michael Jordan's the original GOAT.
Yep. So it makes Michael Jordan your champion.
Hold on, we're not done. I actually, if it's okay, I came with some questions for Teddy. I think it's
Okay.
time to flip the script. I've been watching the show. I enjoy watching the show. I don't think I've ever seen a guest flip the questions back on you.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah, let's go.
You want to do some questions? I do
Go right
5
ahead.
questions with players after games. I actually have more than 5 questions
Okay.
I wrote out. I thought of some good ones for you. All right. There's 3 streets in Wilson
Yeah.
that they're named kind of in relation to the water area. We got Harbor Street, Ontario Street, Dock Street. Are you familiar with where those streets are?
Somewhat.
All right. So Dock Street. It's a staple of Wilson. How do you spell docks?
DOX.
Right. Very good. See, I tried to get you Harbor, Ontario, Docks. Teddy's pretty sharp. All right, I didn't get him. If you could meet one former NFL player, now retired, but you could meet one, who is it?
Oof. It's tough. I mean, I would like to say Jim Kelly. He's just inspirational, you know, surviving cancer and everything he's done for the community of Buffalo, and just everything he's done is just great. You know, John Madden, I would like to meet him. He's cool.
That's a taller order.
Video
probably.
game,
Yeah.
but yeah, you know, it's just, those are probably my top 2 people.
That was excellent. I feel like we could arrange Jim Kelly. Jim, if you're watching, we want to meet you.
Yeah.
I know Jim's brother. I mean, we might be able to hook this up for you.
Well, we'll see.
Jim's awesome.
Yeah.
Jim was my favorite Buffalo
Uh-huh.
Bill in the day. And I
Yeah.
thought, well, there's never going to be another quarterback I love like Jim Kelly.
No.
Josh is pretty good.
Well, Josh.
Josh is Josh. But Jim
MVP.
is special forever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Jim's just special, and that's.
I'm glad you think that.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
glad. I hope more of your generation realizes how cool Jim Kelly was for Buffalo.
Yep. He was just nonstop. Him, Andre Reed, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith on defense, Cornelius Bennett, just all these guys.
I was 15 when they went to that first Super Bowl. What do you think is the best restaurant in Wilson, New York?
Sunset.
The Sunset Bar and Grill?
Yeah.
Well, I agree. All right. You go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What's the first bust you're going over to pay tribute to?
That is very tough. When we went to Cleveland last year, I wanted to try and weasel my way into going there. Didn't go, but I don't know. I just would like to see the whole thing. You know, Canton, it's special. Very special.
It's a bucket list to me, too. You know, and I always have said I'm going to go. And I haven't told my boss over at Sunset yet that I'll be taking that week off when Tom Brady goes.
Yeah.
When Tom Brady goes to the Hall of Fame, because Tom Brady was the GOAT, I'm going to go there and watch that.
Yeah.
That's on my bucket list. What is your favorite meal that your Grandma Andrews serves?
Oh, goodness. She makes a steak. Mean steak.
She does.
Yep. Buy them from Sunset, and they're really good. Her goulash is pretty good, too. That's
Grandma's goulash.
really Graham's goulash.
That was a staple growing up
Yep.
at my house. Lots of goulash. My dad was a fan of the goulash.
Yep.
Okay, this
Alrighty.
is awesome. Thank you.
Alright, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you again soon. This is Teddy Andrews signing out for the Anchor News.